Hey guys, Glenn Kennedy with project.nsearch.com. And guys, as many of you know, I had a big interview with a hacker and I thought it was lost, and it was lost. I looked and looked and looked around for it. And then when I get on my computer, it pops up. I've never seen this before. It like appeared before my eyes like an angel or a white hat or somebody let it come back. I saved it. Here it is, guys. Spread it everywhere. Let's bring these guys down. Take care. For the first 10 minutes of this interview, we were getting interference on the hacker's side, and it was a little hard to understand at times. It's not that bad, but if you can't deal with it, just forward to the 10-minute mark, and we got good sound from there till the end. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. Okay, this is Glenn Kennedy with project.nsearch.com. Tonight we've got the exclusive interview with a patriot out there. He's going by the name of Lou. I call him a hacker. He doesn't like the term, but he definitely knows how the computers work and how the whole system works. He was recruited at an early age, and I will have links to his earlier interview in this interview. You definitely need to, we won't cover too much of the same, but definitely look at that one. So Lou, how are you doing tonight?
Not too bad.
It's been a crazy week, and we've got some big breaking information. And you know, I just want to let everybody know that Lou has told me so many things, and it's always been like a week, 2 weeks, even a month before it even came out on the news. So he is really plugged into the community out there. And, you know, Lou, I just want to tell this brief little story. You know, you were telling me that you know people that are so deep into this stuff that that they even know how to harness like appliances in your home to make Bitcoin out of. That was a pretty funny story you told me the other day. And so like all you people that have internet connected appliances like refrigerators or washing machines or whatever the heck they try to sell you on, you know, he knows people that are so smart that they use that tiny amount of processing to make Bitcoins. And yeah, they don't make much on you, but if you multiply that by millions of different devices they have access to, it adds up to a lot of money. So where do you want to start today, Lou? Do you want to start at, let's start, I guess, with the hottest topic right now is Seth Rich. And I guess Kim.com, and, you know, he's put out some tweets. Why don't you cover, starting with Kim.com, Seth Rich, and Hannity, and everything that's going to break this week?
Well, starting about 2 weeks ago, just, you know, people that I talked to, some people that I know a little more insight on the Intel community than I am versus just being more like private contractor. Hey, we need you to do this. Hey, keep an eye out for this. Try and find vulnerabilities here. Basically what happened is we started picking up on what you would call chatter, just a lot of repetition in words, and we don't know sometimes when we're hearing it whether or not it is part of like an algorithm trying to push a narrative, or if it's background chatter that basically picks up on something before it actually happens. Like if anyone's ever heard of Google crystal ball technology or anything like that, all that stuff exists. They're just it's their way of either controlling a narrative, picking up on something before it happens, and trying to sway it in one direction or not. But then a couple weeks ago, I began contacting Glenn again, and we've been in and out of contact for months, depending on, you know, I've actually known him for about 6 years from the very first time I ever contacted him with some information.
No, just let me break in for 1 second there, because a lot of people wanted to know, you know, I went through the comments on your first video, and a lot of people wanted to know, hey, what happened to him when he had that knock on the door? Do you want to go into that just real briefly? Because you were out. I lost communication with you for a while.
Yeah. I won't go into too much detail, but it involved a forceful admission into a facility for 48 hours, and then they released me.
Yeah.
And it was to do with apparently a neighbor of mine had suffered a severe mental breakdown, and then the story that I told them as to what I was experiencing with my neighbor. Two state employees, certified, I guess, caseworkers, came to
that's crazy.
And I sent you police paperwork and everything, mental health.
Yes. Yes. Did I?
I sent you redacted, but with my name and stuff taken out. But it was
Right.
Somebody sent to interrupt what was going on physically because they were unable to do so electronically.
And we had a lot of disruption, and usually I never want to give advance warning for breaking news or anything, but in this case you said go ahead and do it. You wanted to get some information out. So we've got the #1 story out there on Before It's News going viral right now, and people are definitely going to be looking for this interview. And all right, let's get back. So let me get back to the story, and I'll let you take over. So you had a lot of chatter out there and repeating words. So go ahead and finish up that.
Yeah, basically what I pick up on most of all is patterns and trends, and there's a lot of people that have designed programs to do so, and it's not very complicated. Web crawler programs picking up on certain narratives and things like that are either trying to be pushed or opinions that are trying to be swayed. Google has access to all that, and for the most part, I started picking up on a lot of what was supposed to be executives and either like news pundits passing away, on top of executives having to resign from high levels of tech companies. Like one in particular I picked up on was a lot of chatter on Apple, and I couldn't quite place what was going on there. Still, I've yet to know why it is that there was so much chatter on Apple executives. I'm thinking it's something to do with the known backdoors that were allowed to be in every single iPhone and Apple product, and their complicity in the whole issue. Like, they let it happen pretty much on their own watch and encourage it. And a lot of people look the other way as to how the iPhone and all the products are manufactured to basically make the most profit for the company, which is what they're currently posting record. They have the record call for the cash for the company currently that they've had in a very long time. But I did start noticing more of the narrative of Seth start popping back up, and I hadn't followed the story in a while, but what I had gotten in a blending context, this was just basically the whole story, and the fact that it was named, basically the search was recurring. I thought it was maybe just because we were coming up on the 1-year anniversary, and people were starting to remember, and people were trying to, I guess, second guess, go back and see kind of what the promises were, and a lot of the links to the Hillary going to jail, being locked up.
Hey, Lou, can you hear me?
Seth Rich. So I was following the natural trail of things, and people just going site to site, basically with web crawler technology to see just kind of where people wound up from where. But then, some people I was talking to, I noticed they were mentioning the same thing. People were a little more excited than myself. In the intel community, they were saying that there was going to be a story breaking on it. And that I hadn't really heard anything, but I found HA Goodman. They said that there were supposed to be 15 events take place in northeast, southeast, northwest, southwest, and the Midwest, involving weather manipulation, and then a false flag, and either political or just certain event in each area. Well, by city, by name, it was Washington and California were the states, and then by city, Atlanta. They mentioned Atlanta specifically. And an area in the Midwest, the Ozarks, that I mentioned in the last interview, was supposed to be hit very, very heavily with weather weapons. And the Northeast was supposed to be false flags, weather manipulation, and power outages. And what I was told at the time, and what I see together, was that this was also to be a build-up for a huge grid down scenario, and it was a laying off of a very high percentage of the security forces at the power plants that the main power plant hubs that link the power.
Hey, Lou, we got a problem, and I'd let you go on for a while, but it's getting pretty bad. We're getting dropouts we never have this problem unless we got something going on. I think maybe what I'll do is I'm going to go through a different system here, and maybe I won't have as much interference. It's probably hitting me more than you because you've got all the hacker stuff going for you. But let me try something else here, and we'll pick this right back up, okay?
Yeah, they keep pulling my connections, even though I'm running about 3 different encryptions. They're pulling off my towers and on the ghost towers, which if anyone has ever studied the ghost towers, they're basically unlicensed by the FCC towers that are able to they're Stingray technology, which are handheld devices that the police now have, which are able to pull all information off your phone and, without a warrant or anything like that. They're saying they're using them under the guise of fighting illegal immigration, but they're mostly being used to target patriots because they've given free rein to everybody. Half of it's being used to fight on the side of things that the most people want, and the other half is still being used by shadow state.
Right. Hey, can you go over that last? Can you, because it was so choppy, can you start talking about, I think where it was really getting bad was when you were talking about the false flags and the power stations. Go over that again for the people that couldn't understand you.
That's surprising. Yeah, what I was being told was that it's not nothing. If anyone ever gives you a date on this, on this date so and so is going to happen, more often than not they're a shill, or they're trying to push a narrative, or they have something planned, and it's all just a false flag or COINTELPRO. If they give you a date, now there's such thing as an event-driven timeline, which basically Google will use their algorithms to determine these events need to happen to secure the best outcome for this. Well, I was told that there would be 15 different events that would take place, and there would be 3 in each area of 5 different areas. I was told that it would be a corridor between Washington and Oregon, mostly Seattle or Portland. California, as in like Los Angeles or San Francisco. Atlanta, Georgia was named very specifically. Ozark, Missouri, Southeast Missouri, and the Northeast, New York, was listed along with Pennsylvania. They were told there would be weather warfare and false flags in those areas, and power outages. So I kept track of that pretty thoroughly and kept when updated. I send them a message, hey, 6 out of 15, 8 out of 15, 10 out of 15. Well, just about a couple days ago after we started, I started getting information that we started picking up on the Seth Rich thing. I noticed that we hit about event number 13 or 14 with the tunnel collapse in Washington. That was to a nuclear facility or a facility that stored nuclear arms and or nuclear waste. They weren't too clear about it. I didn't have to read too much further into it because I'm not so much into the who's and what's, just the where's and when's. Because it's all leading up to something bigger. It's an event, like I said, an event-driven timeline. Well, as event 13 happens, which was, I believe, the Washington tunnel collapse at a nuclear facility, I start getting all the information coming to me through my web crawlers on top of inside sources saying, there's more to do with this Seth Rich thing. It's rumored out there are his emails, which instantly had me searching. And with the group of people, we went ahead and found, just by looking through and checking old Reddit posts, that he did have a Reddit account. And the Reddit account was tied to an email, but the Reddit post actually had 2 emails attached to the Reddit post, which was pandas for Bernie, I believe, or pandas for progress at Gmail, and seth.c.rich@gmail.com. Well, we discovered those emails, and as soon as we had found those posts, without even making it known yet, the Donald subreddit on, Reddit was taken down and made private. A bunch of admins were banned. They made it like this political issue through Reddit that these people, the admins do the thing or whatever. I don't keep up with it. All I know is that they were looking for an excuse to shut it down. Well, it came back up today. 500,000 members on the subreddit are missing, are gone. I mean, they're deleted off the subreddit. And a lot of posts have been shadow edited. people had been shadow banned, as in their posts had been edited to where they never existed. Things had been altered to where they weren't what they were to begin with. But fortunately, I had shown Glenn and gotten the emails ahead of time, got screenshots of us getting into the emails that I released to Glenn. So we had gotten into Seth Rich's 3 email accounts, his LinkedIn account, and his Twitter account. That was 3 days ago, and I made sure Glenn got screenshots of most of what I was able to get without giving away pertinent information that entails what will be coming here Tuesday. I told Glenn that watch for who makes the announcement. I put in 3rd place would be an announcement by Wozniak of Apple, but I thought that was having to do. I made that assumption based on the amount of chatter I was getting on an Apple executive, but I also had gotten chatter on news pundits and stuff passing away, not under mysterious circumstances, and then Roger Ailes died. And that went off in my head as a red flag. So, and after basically everybody besides Sean Hannity being ousted from Fox, and Roger Ailes taking the Fox empire basically, and just with a little bit of Rupert Murdoch's money and turning it into the biggest news corporation besides the BBC in the world. And the BBC, if anyone knows, is like a socialized news broadcasting system for Britain and the United Kingdom. So basically you pay for it with your tax dollars over there, which is the only reason it's bigger than Fox, and not by much. But we'd gotten into Seth Rich's email accounts. We'd gotten to a certain point we were at the password reset, and were able to get the password reset, but at that time Google put a block on anybody accessing the emails that did not have a naturalized IP address originating from the Washington, D.C. area. So I was able to pass on the account reset information along with the account to someone within the D.C. area. I think a day or two before that, the parents released the information, well, not the parents, but the PI of the parents, which they're on the side of, yeah, there's something fishy going on. Don't listen to what the news tells you. Like, go actually look and see what they say. His private investigator for his family saying that, yes, he did release the exact amount of documents to WikiLeaks that was stated that were in the Hillary Podesta leaks that some could say debate, won Trump the election or lost Hillary the election, although I think it was hers to lose to begin with. But it surely does make sure that there is no Russia-Trump connection on the email front. Now, you can say Admiral Flynn and all, whatever. All that stuff, the actual Trump-Russia narrative is completely dead. As far as what Kim.com intends to go into on Tuesday, I don't know for sure, because I don't know if he was greasing the skids for it, but he said, will an executive at Google please give me access to Seth Rich's email accounts? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm thinking he already has access to those accounts. I handed over the information to somebody in the D.C. area. So they were able to access the accounts, and I didn't want to get my hands on it because that's putting a 5-foot target on your back. Right. I'll just relay the message, keep myself, living by making the information be known. And I've got a dead man switch flip that I've had to flip 3 times this week on a 22-hour notice that if I'm not there to enter the key in, and every 22 hours that the information will be released through quite a few sources, Glenn including one, and Stu Webb including another, via post and digital files and digital backup, SD cards, everything. So about 5 different ways to quite a few sources. So I'm thinking that Tuesday, but then I saw there was a Twitter, question being asked by Hannity between Kim.com and, and Kim saying he is the source or he helped Seth get his information to WikiLeaks. From what I understand, and I don't know what narrative they're going to use, but it was the emails were encrypted and then used and uploaded to Mega Upload, and then the master decryption key along with the link to the Mega Upload files of Hillary Clinton's emails was then transacted in a Bitcoin transaction to Julian Assange to use to open up the file and get the emails. If you look through Hillary FBI Vault 6, it shows a lot of emails where the FBI is basically demanding that files be sent via image format to the Attorney General for further scrutiny and the DOJ. Well, the reason that they were doing this, and I mentioned this in my very first interview before Vault 7 had ever been released, exactly what it is. It's been an adaptation of civilian-developed software and malware used by the NSA to basically, known backdoors and zero-day exploits into every system that there is because they built them in there. But there is a certain specific tracking software called Scribble that leaves digital and physical watermarks on anything printed from any device that there is. And you can basically, so long as you have the physical copy or the digital copy, you can trace down where it came from. Well, the FBI and these files that you can go see on the FBI Vault, Hillary's email investigation 1 through 8 or whatever it is. I'm sorry, is it?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Before we go on, just tell me, this Scribble program you're talking about, does that create like hidden files? So it basically, anytime you print anything out, there's a file somewhere and you can be traced back?
Well, what it does is anytime you create a digital file, either in Excel, Word, and they say in Scribble that it's just Excel and Word, and I don't know, PDF formats, but it's more than that, it's everything.
Right.
There is an actual watermark within the actual printing itself on top of a digital watermark that allows the file to be tracked back to its original source, no matter what. Including timestamps with the time in which it was transferred or altered or modified, where from and where to.
Is it in little dots that you can't even really see with your naked eye or something? Or do you
it's an imperceivable, you can't perceive it. It's tiny dots, alterations, and font, and this, that, and the other. It's just basically minute code written in the actual software on top of the hard copy of it once you print it out.
Wow, that's some high-tech stuff.
It was based on tracking technology we developed for other reasons, just civilians, white hat hackers, people doing whatever, trying to put a stop to certain levels of corporate espionage and finding out how files were being leaked, and which makes me believe that, I'm not in any way saying I'm affiliated with the Trump organization or anything. Like I said, I'm not a political person. I'm someone with a proclivity to security and computers and computer networking. But if I had to guess, this technology is still in use. Trump knows who his leakers are, and he's slowly weeding them out and letting them dig their own graves, a.k.a. Comey, and all these people, and next will be Kushner, and you'll see the dominoes start to fall. One of the major events we were waiting to see in the Seth Rich investigation, and what was going to go on with him, was whenever Anthony Weiner finally got prosecuted, because at that point, that was when he was granted immunity to testify on behalf, because he has as much information on the Clinton crime syndicate as Seth Rich was able to pull off of the email servers. If you look specifically at the Hillary Clinton FBI Vault email investigation, and it's all labeled mishandling of classified information, it's much bigger than that. A lot of it's redacted, but if you look at the dates, they were all being demanded. The FBI was being, heads of the FBI, which were redacted, were telling the special agents investigating the case to forward the files either in physical format, in image format, and basically encrypted in an image-based format, so it can be decrypted as an image. So that way that physical watermark I was telling you about would stay intact once whoever got it, which would be the Attorney General. Well, you read these emails whenever these basically records that the FBI kept of whenever these files were supposed to be transferred to the Attorney General. About a week and a half later, a young man named Seth Rich is mugged or robbed in the middle of Washington, D.C., and, his watch isn't stolen or anything like that. And the whole thing had been fishy, and that was one of the very first documents that I'd ever sent you, Glenn, was a non-redacted version version of the email or the part of the investigation specifically I was talking about, stating that, why are they sending these via image format and not hard copy? You know what I mean? You want to try and not transfer that stuff over non-secure protocols through this, that, and the other. And they were using very easily decryptable, crackable encryption, image encrypting processes for these files, so they could almost be grabbed out of the air purposely. And then I noticed that, these image files of the actual printable documents of the email, so basically they print them out, and then within that printed out version of the file, with it is a minute code that you can't see with the naked eye that you can scan and get with the proper software.
Right.
The origin of the document, where it was taken from, what it was scanned to or transferred to, and when. That's when they pinpointed it to Seth Rich. The second that it was transferred from the FBI investigation to the Attorney General, I believe 4 days later, Bill Clinton and the AG met on a tarmac for 15 minutes to talk about their kids. And that sounds familiar because Hillary's emails were up like yoga instructions and bullshit like that. And then I believe a week after that, like I said, Seth Rich was murdered.
Yeah.
Well, we fast forward 10 months or however long it's been, we start discovering that after his family's private investigator released information stating that he was obviously in contact with WikiLeaks, we find that the officer on duty responding to the call had a body camera, along with 2 other officers.
Right.
The 3 officers total had body cameras. And this is all information, if this is new to anybody, this was information I'd given to Glenn weeks ago, right, including the guy's college transcripts and his attendance record, and his football, his running back score and all that, or whatever it is. He played football. Well, he was a student of John Podesta's. His sister worked for Hillary Clinton. He was the first responding officer on the scene for the Seth Rich murder. Well, his file, his actual police statement states that Seth Rich was conscious and alive, shot in the back 3 times. So there is body camera footage out there somewhere, if not completely destroyed by now, but more than likely somewhere, of him responding to Seth Rich. So what we don't know is, do they have the camera footage? This guy was obviously a bought and paid for, a student at the same college John Podesta was teaching at, so at Georgetown. So go figure. That's not surprising to anybody already.
Well, did you hear about the supposed doctor that came forward and said that when Seth Rich got to the hospital, he wasn't dead, he was in stable condition and all that, and that also
he's alive.
And all of a sudden, tons of cops show up and they're prevented from treating him, and then he dies.
Yeah,
it's like,
they were told to stand down.
Yeah. And
the doctors were ordered to violate their Hippocratic oath and let the man die after being shot 3 times by the guy who, quote-unquote, responded to gunshots that weren't called in by an anonymous source in Washington, D.C. Well, last week we began looking for areas in which the security cameras would show footage of. If you guys remember the night when 9/11 happened, how there was basically the Secret Service or whoever, shadow government folk, came in, whatever you want to call them, not the Secret Service, but they came in and seized all camera footage other than one camera at a gas station that happened to get the picture of the cruise missile smashing into the side of the Pentagon.
Oh, did you see that footage? Did you see it?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah. Yeah.
Has it ever come out?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
There's one camera footage of it, but there's more than one camera of it. And that was them going and grabbing physical copies after the fact. But yeah, no, there's more of that hidden.
How did you see it? Did people that you know saw it or something?
Well, I was very young at the time, but as we've discussed before, I was picked from a very young age to do what I do by a naval intelligence officer.
Right.
And made connections with people within the FBI through him. conceptual diagram was of the chain software that I wrote that now is known as Hive and Honeycomb, released by Vault 7. It's just an adaptation of software I wrote and taken by the NSA, and they put their best brains on it and made something even better, you know. They took what we wrote
Sure.
and made, but, yeah. I mean, you're privy to things,
I never knew that you saw the cruise missile footage. I mean, I knew a cruise missile hit it.
Well,
what do you think?
There's one out there of the cruise missile hitting it, but there's a lot that aren't.
From the air? I've seen the one from the air.
There's one out there you can see, I'm sure if you just look, that's at ground level, but there's about 3 others that definitely prove, basically, they didn't release enough to where you could take it and map it and make a 3D image of what had hit the Pentagon.
Yeah.
They made it to where it was all 2D.
What do you think? I mean, we've never even talked about this because we've always talked about more recent stuff, but just real quick, and then we'll get back on track. What do you think hit the towers, if anything? Was it a hologram? Or, I mean, do you know, or you just have to guess?
From what I heard, it was blue beam on top of resonance and, you know, electromagnetically induced physical resonance that caused the towers just to collapse, or you can call it death ray or whatever people.
Right.
I've heard stories of people say, I think that they had more than one cat in that bag. They
might have used
quite a few contingency plans. Just like there wasn't one shooter to kill Kennedy.
Right. They could have used micro nukes, a death ray, and then they used a hologram plane because you can see it go through, and you see a holographic on YouTube. You can type in 9/11 nosed out, and you see a holographic cockpit come out the other side of the building, totally.
Right.
And then it's just poof, it disappears. It's like, and that was taken from a helicopter. That one right there, and plus there's a ton of other stuff that show the holographic wings disappearing before it actually hits. You can see that. So that's the, and then Jim Fetcher's done a lot of good work, and he concluded also that it was a holographic plane, and then they probably just did like a Wile E. Coyote type, you know, put explosives and stuff, and then they timed it so that when the hologram hit the plane, boom, they blow the explosives outward, like a Hollywood movie or something. That's
well, with an expansion of the Blue Beam program, they could do a projection of something that could be hit at the same time with the same system, but on the, you know, not visible light spectrum that cause an electromagnetic resonance, which would cause a physical resonance, and would cause basically what we've seen, a dissipation completely of the towers from the level at which they were hit.
Right.
I think that's what caused it to collapse, I believe, finally. As far as holograms or physical plane, I'd have to say it was all Blue Beam, and, you know, what the public would be known as Blue Beam, obviously it's a much more advanced name of it. I wouldn't even know what to call it anymore.
Right.
But it's, you know, it's whispered around what it is, but it's just the levels at which it's been is ridiculous. And that was something else that I mentioned. I said, watch for, you know, word is more Project Blue Beam stuff. You know, and that's exactly how it's communicated. Just watch for Project Blue Beam stuff. And the day of the French election, there were massive UFO sightings all over the capital cities of France, including Paris and others. And I texted you that day, I believe, or called you.
Yeah.
Said, well, that's one of the, you know, that's just one of the false flags. Keep an eye out. You know, this is just.
Hey, I just want to make something clear before we proceed. Glenn Kennedy doesn't have like classified documents on my phone or anything. I mean, I'm not sitting on the Seth Rich emails. I didn't download anything. I mean, he just sent me like little screenshots with things redacted so that he could just show me that he's legit. So if you, and by the way, Lou, that we're going to call you anyway, what has the FBI been given all this information? I mean, this stooge Comey that needs to be put in prison. Let's just go into who's. I mean, if people come to me and say, "Hey, we heard your interview. We want all these emails." I mean, I don't have them, but who's got them?
Right. I don't either. I imagine the FBI does. If whoever has it. I mean, factions within every agency is people that are trustworthy, the people that are patriots, the people that aren't.
Right.
People that can be bought and people that can be paid for, people that can be bought with a bullet or bought with gold,
Do you know if you don't know if Sessions has got this information yet, do you?
No, I have no idea. I think that partially the higher, I'm not going to claim to be an expert on that whole thing, but if I had to guess, the firing of Comey was just, okay, now is the time.
Yeah.
Now Trump is in the Middle East giving his speech, basically making that?
And you think Shavitz was quitting because he's gotten blackmailed or he's gotten pressure to get out because he was barking too much?
He was too hawkish to begin with.
Yeah.
He was hawkish. He was way ahead on the schedule.
Yeah.
He was very hawkish on the idea of subpoenaing the FBI for their files.
Right.
Long before the FBI, corrupt as it is and paid for as it was willing to give up, especially before the election.
Right.
He was just trying to do his job, and somebody else will do it now, and they'll do just as good of a job as he would have done, but sometimes people jump the gun.
Sure.
And it's not quite like all the dominoes are in place, but as we see now with Anthony Weiner going to jail, the dominoes are beginning to fall.
Well, whatever happened, with the New York Police Department or whatever, there's people that were claiming that they were getting sick of all the cover-ups and they were going to just start releasing crap. It seems like, with all this stuff, the pedophile stuff on his laptop, seems like it's all been successfully covered up, or what do you think about that?
Well, I know that they have what I mentioned in the first interview, the chain, and it is basically a daisy chain of the network that was used to transfer basically what Anthony Weiner was into,
right.
young girls. And I know it's far more than that, but if you've got child porn on your computer, chances are you're going to have a proclivity to like young children as well, as sick as that is.
Yeah.
So the network that we had gathered of IP addresses and timestamps and locations of the people, I had handed off that to somebody else again, because like I said, I don't try and sit on or hold any keys to any information or emails or documents or anything like that. I just pass it on to the person that can do something with it.
Right.
And then I do my job, and my hands are clean, and I'm safe for the most part from...
Do you think anything's going to happen? Do you think that, of course, we've had more pedophile arrests, I think, than in any time in history. Do you feel like that's just been...
Oh, yeah, that's part of it.
You think we're going to have tons and tons more in the summer and fall and everything?
I think it'll continue. I think establishing dominance worldwide as America, the superpower, is going to come, and then all that stuff will just lay in the shadows until it becomes... you knock out the cornerstones and then you work your way up the pyramid.
Right. All right, so, you're hearing more information. Hannity's going to probably have like 10, 15 minutes with Kim.com or something. He ain't going to get into all this stuff that you just heard, that's for sure. I just want everybody to know we got to get this information out everywhere, and you've got to share it everywhere you possibly can. Use the enemy systems against themselves. Get on, push it out on Facebook. Definitely everybody should get an account on FutureNet that I talk about in my ebook at crankmoney.com. And just use all avenues out there, guys, because the fake news ain't going to talk about any of this stuff. We have to make everybody understand that their news is 100% fake about this Russian narrative. They've been beating that dead horse for 5 months, and now we know why. The whole thing was a lie to cover up the murder of Seth Rich. The guy was murdered. All that needs to come out, and I don't like Hannity. Hannity's found Jesus, it seems like, compared to what he used to be, but the guy still loves Bushes and the Ollie Norse and those criminals. But I just hope that he does a good job, and at least can get the truth out about Seth Rich, and it starts going viral. So what do you want to go ahead.
No, I was going to say it's more of a PR thing, and it's to get attention to the issue. And once enough attention is drawn to the issue, it basically the Seth Rich murder was get as many, kill as many birds with one stone. They were able to weed out a leaker, kill somebody, which they love to do for some reason.
Right.
They were able to perpetuate a narrative by killing the only person, they thought one of the only people that could tell them, hey, look, the Trump-Russia connection, computer hacking, the election, blah, 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 all this horseshit. They're still going to try and say that the election was fixed and Russia had hacked into the election, and WikiLeaks Vault 7 proves that any voting machine is hackable and the Russians manipulated the poll, and they're going to say anything now.
Of course, they never. They said that was impossible before the election. How can you say that Hillary could rig it, or it might be rigged?
Right. And a lot of people are still curious, and I know I've gone into detail with you on this, Glenn, on how the Vault 7 information initially actually ever got leaked, because the arsenal that they had was known to be stored on what's called an air-gapped server, an air-gapped database, which is a database it's not connected to anything. It's not connected to any network. It sits alone in a room with a camera on it and makes sure no one goes near it and kill on sight if they do. Well, there are backdoors and certain malware you can install that manipulates the diagnostic lights on any computer. And you guys have seen, I'm sure, famous pictures of Mark Zuckerberg covering a camera on his computer up. Well, he's also, take a look at that picture, he's covering up the diagnostic lights, little red, green, yellow lights you see on your laptop or your phone or any server or router or anything like that. Well, that's because if those things can be used to program to spit out information, either encrypted or regular, just however you want to perceive it, and you can trigger the computer with the right malware in it with a lighted signal to the camera to use the diagnostic lights to spit out information as to what is on the computer. Well, these Vault 7, the NSA hacking arsenal was stored on an air-gapped computer. Basically, like I said, it's a server or database, and it's just a tower sitting there with all this information, and you go and all these tools that they can use and backdoors, and, any way to get into any system on Earth, basically.
Right.
But they overlooked that there still is a camera looking at this database, and it has diagnostic lights. They are blinking. They are blinking constantly.
Right.
Well, somebody within the Shadow Brokers group was able to do maintenance on this machine and reprogram the LED diagnostic lights to spit out the information maintained on the database. And then all it takes is a review of the camera footage of the diagnostic lights blinking, and then they are decoded, and you have basically the information that was stored on that server database.
Oh, man.
And that's how all the WikiLeaks Vault 7 tools were leaked to the public, or leaked to WikiLeaks, or leaked to the Shadow Brokers and leaked to WikiLeaks, or whoever got their hands on them. They have been scratching their heads wondering how this all got released. But, yeah, that's exactly how it was released. It was done through, basically, just something they overlooked, the diagnostic lights on any sort of computer device or anything.
Who is anonymous? Who is anonymous, really? Is that white hats and all various agencies, or is it CIA? What is it, do you know?
It's a lot of everything. I mean, the original group has sort of died down after the whole sect group kind of got they had their fun, and they gave a bad name and put a bad taste in everybody's mouth as to what Anonymous was, and it was, when you start trying to hack epilepsy websites to get people seizures, it sort of turns everybody off to the idea of, you're doing something for good, but they are the ones who started the Occupy Wall Street protests, but I can't say for sure that wasn't a shill operation to begin with, and then co-opted. I know it was co-opted, but...
Right. Yeah. Okay, well, let's see. So we've covered anything else you want to say about Seth Rich? I mean, Kim.com is going to probably just say that he was well aware of this relationship and that he was the leaker and all that. Anything else you want to say about Kim.com or the Seth Rich thing before we move on?
Well, I'm waiting for John McAfee to make an appearance or a statement on the whole situation.
Yeah.
And when that happens, I'll have a little more to say on the issue. until then, it's like I said, Kim.com is going to come out and say that he was the internal man that was able to, or the middleman between WikiLeaks and Seth Rich, which showed him the proper way to, which what he thought was securely transfer the Hillary Clinton and Podesta emails to WikiLeaks without getting shot back 3 times in the middle of Washington, D.C. So, and I think he's had a fairly guilty conscience about the whole thing, but then again, at the time, not a lot of people knew of to the extent at which the arsenal the NSA had at their hands to track these people down, track leakers down, and they basically kept it hidden, like the United States always keeps their greatest weapons secretly hidden until they need to use them. Like, the U-2 spy plane wasn't, declassified until 50 or 60 years after its inception, so,
right.
These things will be regular, run-of-the-mill, you talked about daily in the next 20 years.
Right.
And you kind of hinted around earlier at the Internet of Things, and yeah, like I tracked the guy down on 007 who has been using the Internet of Things, like your smart fridge and your kid's baby monitor that's networked to, so you can listen in from your computer or smartphone at work. He's been using these devices to mine Monero.
Yeah.
Which is a completely anonymous flash, because each Monero wallet is its own individual for its own individual transaction. But he's also, on websites, you can transfer your Monero very easily into other coins that are a little easier to spin.
Yeah.
He's been on Bitcoin and Ethereum coin gambling websites, gambling away his, stolen earned cryptocurrencies. Specifically one is a dice game, which has the house odds at 0.38%. So it's a very efficient way if you think about money laundering traditionally being 20 to 30%. You lose 20 to 30% of your money. Well, for this, he loses 0.38% of his money, and he's able to roll the dice and basically launder all of his ill-gotten money that he's been using with leaked and altered Vault 7 tools.
Wow.
To infiltrate systems. And I mean, the next big security thing is going to be securing all these fucking refrigerators and stuff people own that connect to Wi-Fi, and it's a disaster. And I think the idea is to basically use those eventually to bring down the power grid by DDoSing key infrastructure points, because modern-day electrical engineering is very similar to modern-day computer networking. It's switches and hubs, and you can take down one with an electrical surge as easily as you could with a denial of service attack from, 100,000 refrigerators.
God, why would anybody want a smart appliance like a washing machine or a freaking dishwasher or a refrigerator? It's like we already have enough spy devices. We're walking around with one called iPhones and stuff.
All right. Well, keeping up with the Joneses, they've made you think that that's what you need.
Yeah.
When really it's not. They've basically coaxed the American people into paying to beta test products that are selling their privacy out without extrajudicially, without actually even violating any amendments, because it's all things you sign up for. I mean, you sign up for Google, you sign up for this, you sign up for that. You're willingly and knowingly handing over private information so no one can cry foul when the Fourth Amendment gets violated. So,
yeah, the only thing I use Gmail for is spam or something. I mean, I don't give a... I mean, if you want the spooks reading your emails like the second you make them, just use Gmail, man. That's just retarded. I hate those guys. Those guys are the devil incarnate. I mean...
Well, end-to-end encryption is like my devices are, for all intents and purposes, secure. Like, it would take a lot to get into what I've got. I don't really have anything. But then again, anonymity is a very big thing. I don't ask for people to donate money. I don't need it.
Yeah.
I don't ask for people to this, my website, my blog. I ask everyone to give their donations to Lloyd Kennedy because I've known him for 6 years, off and on, and he's been and then Stu Webb have been the people that have been trying to put out the truth regardless of if it's politically correct or not. I've shown Glenn my Bitcoin wallet. I am in no need of funds in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
I don't ask for funds, but if you have it, donate it to InSearch and do what you can. And we were on the talks today, and I'm, when we can and whenever the time is right and the software is available, me and Glenn were discussing the ability to make a social media platform, but more or less like a Huffington Post without the prying eyes and being told what to do. And it's basically, we can talk more about that later. But we discussed earlier because it sounds very promising and interesting, so long as the right software comes about at the right time. It's already on its way.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to do with it. I just know of it, and I would know how to set it up.
Right.
As much as I can, because I think it would be ultimately the best way to get the truth out without having to be told by somebody, hey, you're scratching too close to the surface there, which has been why the media has been so successful, is by knocking out advertisers, removing the income stream to anyone who dare opposes that their narrative.
Oh, I forgot, just to get back to Seth Rich, the ATM cameras. You want to talk about them at all?
Right. Well, we did some footwork the other day to try and get an idea of the security cameras and businesses and stuff around. And I don't know if I sent you the picture or not, but it was a screen grab of one of the cameras that take a picture directly where Seth Rich had been murdered. They had all been clean. Like I said earlier, they were all back during 9/11. All the camera footage had been snagged by deep state folk.
Yeah.
At the time, but now they can do it, digitally.
Yeah, I was going to
basically,
go ahead. Sorry.
Basically, at the time of the murder, all the information had been wiped off, and all the information had been stored remotely had been deleted from those cameras.
So that means
about a week after the murder, that there's information and recordings, but up until the murder and about a week after, it's all gone.
Well, that shows you right there, fishy business, and that ain't going to be on no Hannity either. That's for sure.
Right.
All right, so that's very interesting information that nobody else has got on the ATMs around where he was murdered. Now,
mostly security cameras. I say ATMs. One ATM, mostly private security cameras.
That's what I wanted to ask you about, because I mean, I knew the capabilities. I mean, you see movies and stuff, and then you see this show called Hunted. I don't know if you ever saw Hunted, but it's a pretty eye-opening show because it basically has a contest where these people, they have teams and they find these professional bounty hunters and working with law enforcement, and their job is to track and capture these guys, and if whoever wins, gets a lot of money at the end of the show. But what I thought was interesting is it's like, hey, do you got a camera over here? And it's like, yeah, we got one right here. And it's like, what is the deal? Is every single camera out there, whether it's on a 7-Eleven or a Joe's Pawn Shop, is that all open to law enforcement or FBI? I mean, can they get into basically anything, including even home cameras that were just private residencies? What's the deal with that?
It depends. Old CCTV to real, like you would imagine VHS. I mean, yeah, they can get into them, but because they've been building the back doors into electronics since they've been building electronics.
Right.
It's just a matter of can they do it remotely or wirelessly.
Yeah.
And as of about 6 years ago, every camera installed, security camera for an ATM or a business, has been done through mostly a wireless CCTV system that is supposed to be secured through a Wi-Fi connection, which is not. So, like I said, that I don't know if you were recording it earlier, the Stingray technology that they basically just gave the police, ICE has been given, and other people under the guise of fighting illegal immigration and tracking criminals on their cell phones,
right,
has been given to about every police force in the country. So they would be able to just, for the most part, similar technology, but not directly the Stingray technology, but get into cameras. Home cameras,
everything.
Another thing too is I always mention is LED TVs are light emitting diodes. People don't realize that it's got a positive and a negative on the diode, and if you have the positive wired to the positive and the negative to the negative, it emits a frequency of light, either visible or invisible, and that's how your TV works. But if you reverse the polarity on it, you connect the negative to the positive and the positive to the negative, it actually induces a current based on the light that hits the LED light emitting diode. So basically, at any point in time, any LED light or any LED TV can be used as a wide-angle camera for your house. And if you live near somewhere that's got like a smart grid, basically your TV could be one big camera transmitting an image, wide-angle image of.
Is it clear though? I mean, is it like a color camera, or is it just like fuzzy, or do you know?
I've never seen, but I know it's enough.
Yeah. So basically, if you got a LED TV in your bedroom, they can watch you in your bedroom, I guess, at night if they want.
Yeah, they don't need to install cameras. I mean, part of the WikiLeaks thing was they were putting cameras in a certain version of a Samsung television.
Right.
And the thing is that any TV with a digital converter that's LED, that's using, and especially the AMOLED, which is each diode in the TV that emits light is an actual pixel. Those will give the highest resolution, but any TV that is LED gives a rough, it gives you a rough picture of what is going on in an area where the TV is facing.
Well, there's a video, I've got it in my YouTube channel, called Order of the Barbarians, New World Order Insider Spills the Beans. In 1969, Dr. Dunnigan was told by Dr. Day in a big conference, they were all New World Order. This guy was a New World Order pig. Dr. Day was in charge of the Planned Parenthood. He was a doctor. He told all the doctors, I'm going to tell you some things that I'm allowed to tell you because there's no way we can be stopped at this point. But one of the things he said in that briefing was, number one, that we had all the cures to cancer. We could cure 98% of it in 1969, and the cures are at the Rockefeller Institute, but because there's too many people, we're not going to release them because they got to die of something. And the other thing he said was that he said your TVs, your phones, and everything that has any kind of a connection will be used to monitor you. We'll have cameras in your TV. He said that in 1969.
Yeah, I've never heard of that, but it's true. Just anyone Google reverse polarity LED and see what it says about what happens when you emit a light to a light emitting diode that's reverse polarized. It turns into a camera. It induces a current. And then your digital converter on your box that we were also gratefully given the opportunity to have just a few years ago can be used to convert that image into digital format and transfer it over either a smart grid, or anyone has cable knows that their cable internet box also has an uplink as well as a downlink too. So the image can be transferred many ways from your TV. So basically, the movie 1984 has come true. Everybody's got a camera in their bedroom, or if you've got a TV that is a newer model TV, and even some of the older ones are all just basically lower resolution cameras. But I've never seen the images that are produced, but it's enough.
Yeah. So if you got a camera in your bedroom, you better get it out, because that's not good for your sleep anyway. I don't like having TVs. I never watch TV in the bedroom anyway, because if you fall asleep with that TV on, I don't know if you've ever done that in the past, but boy, you have all these weird dreams, and it's like you wake up and you feel like you haven't even slept very good. So it's just a bad thing all the way around. I mean, I can just see monitors. I mean, like they have that show Colony on Sci-Fi Channel, and it's sort of like a fascist government, that took over because they were working with aliens. And they've got just rows and rows of monitors and people just sitting there looking at hidden cameras inside people's houses, but they can do it just with the bulbs and all this other stuff. So, I mean, they don't have to go in there and install the cameras. The cameras are already there.
Right. I mean, what is a camera? It's a lens that receives an image, and that's all any LED is now.
Well, they're so
you'll see more and more phones
are the
same way.
They're so small, they're like, can't even see them with your naked eye anyway. I mean, even if they're regular ones. Well, we're getting pretty long here, but I want to talk about one other important thing that you had told me, if you want to get into it, is the AI, the Google. I don't know. Do you want to talk about it real quick at the end?
I guess I can give a teaser as to what we were discussing the other day when I called you.
Yeah, just
basically.
Just basically, because we don't have documents. Because well, if you want to get in the document, the proof was basically erased. But it doesn't really matter because all we want to know is what are they up to? What are they trying to do with this AI stuff? And go ahead and tell what you've seen out there, I guess.
Well, basically, the Google AI is an algorithm, well, it's more of a flowchart and a diagram with some equations that I haven't drawn. I'm going to draw up a rough draft of what it is that I've discovered. It was an actual document. It was basically a flowchart / algorithm with equations as to separate everybody into categories. And I mentioned it in the last interview. That there being 10 demographics, and the lowest demographic being like 1.37% of the population, and that's going to be the most hated group that there is. This doesn't matter what, they just know that they've got to cram and find something that they can relate 1.37% of the population to, cram them all into this small demographic. That way, everybody's got an enemy. The diagram that I had seen started off, and it was used to basically like a social score on Google and the internet, but it was something I found that I wasn't supposed to find. I don't longer have the documents. As soon as I got about halfway through the document, it said that so-and-so, if anyone discovers this document, and everybody about past that part, and then my phone literally reset, my girlfriend's phone reset. We both started getting weird phone calls, text messages that I had sent from my phone had been altered. All my apps began updating to versions of the apps that were not on the App Store, that were APKs that were used to spy, and basically all my banking information and banking account and all that stuff, which was dummy anyway, but it was on a device that I had, which I thought was extremely secure. But I ran across this document and it basically just opened up my phone. But it was how to put people into internet gulags and how to force people into demographics, and it showed that let's say 78% of the people will be in what is like the actual internet, and they're the 78% of the people that get to experience 90% of the internet. You know what I mean? They're your good Samaritans that fall in the line, and they don't search for the wrong things, and they don't read the alternative news, and they read what they want them. They're told to read this, that, and the other, and then it had slowly shown if you violate this term of service rule, you're shot in here into a probationary period, and it would show a line to another box, and it says, this is where you're going to sit for 30 days as a probationary period where you experience only, say, 80% of the internet. You get less and less of the internet. And if you violate another term of service, you get shot to another box where you only get to experience 60% of the internet. Where basically they cater to you what your results on Google will be. And eventually, and what had happened is once I discovered that document, it instantly pushed me into that 1.37% demographic that your phone is, or your device, your Google account is basically ghosted. Your contacts are deleted. Your account is opened up, and basically it's free reign for anyone. All your financial apps, everything, information just is opened up, and you're free game for anyone that wants it. And you're limited to basically a very, very small percentage of the actual internet. Basically, one news site that is, I don't know what the news site will be, but it'll be one Google News app and one Messenger app, and you're allowed to contact these people only, and it'll all run off of the Android system interfaced with Google. That's the teaser of it, and I know from memory, I can redraw the actual diagram, and it was given names like probation officer and judge and captain and this and that and the other. And the thing is that this algorithm was being used, and it was reading Department of Justice laws, and it was writing out ways in which to enforce these laws, exactly how that diagram would be used to enforce Google's terms of service, and to push you into more and more secured parts of the internet. prison nomenclature, secured housing units. Like, you violate this many rules and you're in the hole, basically. And that's what the final part of the demographic, the final bottom of the demographic was that 1.37% that will be in the hole, or is a ghosted Google, or ghosted Gmail, or ghosted this, whatever they want to call it. You know, they don't even have terms for it yet. None of it's public. But I told Glenn when I got the opportunity, I've been fairly busy lately. I will draft up basically a mock. I mean, it's not a very complicated thing, and I can't quite remember the math equations that were involved, but it was basically just violating this term of service or this, these are the offenses, and basically like real-life jail. They will shove you into, like, there's going to be, like, real-life jail, and there's going to be internet jail, where you're shoved into this portion of the internet, and you're only experiencing this much freedom online. Now, I think Trump's current, the net neutrality and his current FTC head is working to fight this sort of system and break up with antitrust laws, Google, and, you know, how all these companies are trying to merge. And the beginning of it was you've seen kind of like an amalgamation of all telecommunications whenever AT&T and DirecTV were bought.
Right.
And then now it's a nightmare. That's all I have to say, you know? And there's so much more to it. I mean,
well, that's what the guy from the new, you know, that video, which I will have linked in the description as well for those that you want to hear it, because it's one of the most interesting things I've ever heard. It goes on like for 4 hours talking about everything he remembered from this meeting. But one of the things he said was like, well, you know, in the future there'll be fewer and fewer banks and they'll have different names and everything, but in reality it's just still one bank. So basically, you know, one bank, one insurance company, even though they got different names, it's all the same New World Order pigs that own them all. So do you think that Google, Facebook, and PayPal, they all collude so that if you break the rules, you know, they say, oh, kill his PayPal account if you're Google or whatever? Do you think that they do that, or will that come in the future?
I think Apple, Google, and Microsoft are interfaced with Amazon the most. PayPal, I'm not 100% sure on, because Peter Thiel has kind of, but he doesn't have full control, but he's very libertarian and is part of Trump's advisory team. At least he was his transition team. Peter Thiel has developed some very interesting tracking software and protocols that could be very good and very bad. You know, it's like a nuclear weapon. It can be used to end a war, prevent a war, start a war, or annihilate the human species. I think that's our next 21st century atomic bomb is going to be who in this cyber arms race gets the equivalent of the hydrogen bomb. And I believe that we are currently, they have it. They have got to use it. But I think it'll be used in a grid down situation, and it'll be full control of all devices capable of connection to the internet to bring down the power grid. That's what I gather from what I've been told and what I've seen, as far as the expansion of the Internet of Things. And it'll all be done under the whole daisy chain, your refrigerator to your neighbor's refrigerator, and everyone will have free internet unless you're way out in the country, so you better move to the city, and this, that, and the other, you know, just a way to congeal population into one small area and keep everybody connected.
Right. Wow.
But then again, if you daisy chain everything together, one person commits, say, like with Bitcoin, whenever they're regulating it and whatnot, one person commits what they consider a financial crime. Well, if your financial crime is committed on a daisy chain of 30 devices, they have the right, through the Fourth Amendment, to get a warrant and search all 30 houses or 30 whatever, to go in there and try and track down this financial crime. You know, so it basically gives them carte blanche if used improperly to search and seize any asset or property or search any place, basically.
Right.
It's a full control grid. It's the panopticon. You don't know when you're being watched, so you assume you're being watched all the time, which alters your behavior to the way they want.
Wow. This is probably, we better probably cut it right here because we've been going on for like over an hour, I guess. But is there anything?
All right.
We'll pick up again next time. I don't want to, tire you out here and all that. But anything else that you wanted to say at the end or cover that we didn't cover? Because I want to get this out, and I want everybody out there to spread this around like crazy, because this isn't going to be on anybody else. This isn't going to be on Alex Jones or nothing. So get it out everywhere. We're doing the best we can here. We need your support. And send it to Trump. Send it to tweet it. Everything you guys can do. It all depends on you. You got to overwhelm the system by coming at it from so many different areas. Like, they can block me on Facebook and only give me 3 likes with 2,000 Patriot friends because they got me so locked down. But if every one of you puts out the video and tells everybody else to spread it, they can't shut that down, and that's what drives them nuts. That's why they hate me so much, because I'm pretty good at getting people to spread it. But Lou, is there anything else that you feel like you want to talk about just at the very end here, or tell whatever you want to say to the people? Because they were really excited about hearing from you again. They've been asking me all the time, what happened to him? Is he okay? And everything else. And then, like you said, you're protected. If anything does happen to you, your information will go everywhere, so many directions that they won't be able to stop at all. So the worst thing they could do would be to harm you, because this information's already been given out anyway. It's not like in your possession or anything. But anything you want to just say here at the end that maybe we forgot to cover?
No, I think we've pretty well covered it. If there's any questions or anything, anyone just post on, I guess, the YouTube comments of this video when Glenn's done posting it. Get your questions, figure out what it is that you want to ask, and then till next time, I don't know when that'll be. It's like I said, it's more of an event-driven thing than it is like I can set a date.
I got one thing to tell you, because you had asked about it and I forgot to get back to you about it. But if you go onto the Truth Warriors channel and just search for Biostation Alpha Mars base.
Right.
Watch that video. It was pretty interesting. I want your opinion on it maybe next time, because I'd seen that, but way back. I think it came out in like 2010 or something, probably 7-8 years ago. And this guy was digging through the Mars Google application, and he found this area, and it looks exactly like it was definitely man-made. It looks like it's like a part of a base, or it's got. And I know it's definitely hot, because when I posted it the first time, I lost at least one YouTube channel, because the YouTube channel got banned for total bogus reason, and it was right after I did that. Well, anyway, the original did stay up. It had so many views over the years, and I have the link to the original as well. But what was interesting is I remember he gave the coordinates in the original, which is linked in my video, and if you put them into Google Mars, it would actually go exactly to the structure that he talked about, and I did it myself and zoomed in and everything. But when I said, after I made that recent video, because a lot of people had never seen it, because it was on an old channel that wasn't near as popular as what I've got now. But when I did it recently, it comes up and says data not available anymore. But what's so funny too is I put in, after I show that video, I show actually what Michio Kaku said on Fox News about it, because they were like, yeah, what do you think about this? This is going all over the internet, Biostation Alpha. He comes on there and says, well, we would really like this to be true, because if that was a real structure, we would have our space budgets increased by 20 times and all this crap. You know what he says? He goes, what this is it's a gamma ray that hit the camera, and that's what you're seeing there. And I was just like, oh my God, it was so bogus that nobody bought his lies. Because when you see this structure, the roof is like a checkerboard, like you could see where individual panels were put together, and it was and it wasn't a perfect checkerboard like you might see from some kind of an artifact repeating. It was varied, and there ain't no way that a gamma ray is going to create this perfect structure in the middle of a flat plane on Mars. But anyway, it was so damaging, I guess, to them that they forced Google to pull it out of the index. Anyway, just see what you think about it. Maybe we can talk about it next time we get together, and the people that are listening, they can go there, and I'll put that link to that video in this one as well, just so you can get to it easily. But I just wanted to thank you so much, Lou. We had a lot of power-packed information in here, everything from about the artificial intelligence, and that thing is out of control. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, we're living in a science fiction movie. It's just, I can't.
Well, soon you'll be seeing videos that are basically someone who's had enough of an internet presence. They'll have a full 3D scanned image of them and be able to put them in any sort of scenario situation and be able to use their voice by maybe only 30 or 40 words and make them say and do on video whatever it is they want them to do.
Yeah.
That's the next step. They're slowly stepping towards that, and that is actually something that's already being done to a limited extent.
Right.
I won't speak on to which videos, but it's being done.
Yeah.
It's already being done and tested and dry run. Yeah. I mean, they have where all it takes is someone spin around in a circle and say 40 words, and Google AI can basically take your facial structure and everything, even add a couple of years and put you in a video and make you say whatever it is they want you to say. So that's as far as the AI has gotten, and that's fairly public. Yeah, so just keep your eyes out for that. That is something that is in the near future. They're sort of already teasing the people with it, with Carrie Fisher and the Star Wars movies, and how
right.
she will be in the next one, even though she was dead before they even started filming it.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see the technology on that. It's amazing what they can do. Well, yeah, that was a good place to end it, I guess. But thank you so much, Lou, and we'll have you back on as soon as possible, as soon as we get some more breaking news on that. But last thing, I guess, are you pretty optimistic about Trump and his people, or do you think it's just going to be real critical these next few months on whether, because they say, Stu's been told that, basically Jeff Sessions, they haven't given him all his assistant attorneys and everything that he needs to really go after these people. They've been dragging their feet, and even Jeff Sessions said that, well, I know how this game works, and I'm not going to get all my people till like September. I mean, that's just outrageous that he's not going to be able to do his job really till September when they come back and they have to finish out. But what is your basically outlook, and what can you tell the people out there? Do you think Trump has got a good chance to do this, or do you think he's got, I hope you're right about this Kushner guy, because that guy, and I hope Priebus gets out of there too, because those guys are scum.
Oh, they're all on their way out, yeah. I'm cautiously optimistic. The people that you and the Patriot community know are good people. Yeah. The people you have questions about are the ones that you'll see being edged out increasingly more and more, and people more like Steve Bannon, even though he's sort of had his role diminished. Yeah. So they say, as far as public is concerned, more and more people along those lines will be entering in, and a lot of people will be exiting stage left. Okay. For what it's worth. I hope so. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but like you said, it's still just a matter. It's an issue of time, and basically and that the nationalistic view of America first is the way to perpetuate the American dream across the world without having to force it down anybody's throat. People will begin to see, and especially his trip to the Middle East right now, already keep an eye on that and watch the speech he gave today. Very profound. I mean, some cojones it took for what he did today. And what we'll see in the next couple of weeks, and for people to watch the interview that should be taking place Tuesday or later in the week with Kim.com to see more on the Seth Rich information. I'm not sure 100% if he had gotten emails. I passed it along, so hopefully someone had got it to him, or someone will get it somewhere. I don't know. It could be Al Capone's fault, But there were 3 emails, and it was Pandas for Bernie, Pandas for Progress, and Seth.C.Rich, and they were all Gmail accounts along with Twitter and LinkedIn, and like I said, I don't have any of the information on it. It's passed along to someone who could do something with it. That's my job. So
Seth Rich was a Bernie guy. Why did he go to the the Clintons? Did they just try to get?
He didn't really. He 4 days before he was killed, he was offered a position with Hillary. He took it because that's what that's what he was doing. But it was more or less they knew that he was leaking information and we're going to kill him.
they knew he was leaking before they offered him the. Wow. Boy, I sure wish I knew what was said on that plane, huh? That'll be interesting.
Well, I just seen a Twitter update from Sean Hannity. Is it possible that the greatest lie ever told is soon exposed?
That's he's probably talking about the Russia-Trump thing was the biggest lie. What do you think?
Yeah, and that was at 8:49 Central, and it says, "How will the tinfoil hat destroy Trump media and deep state deal with this?" So stay tuned, folks. You heard it here first with Glenn. He'll attest to the fact that this information did not just come to light today. It's been over the past months, that slowly, but just waiting for the time to be right.
Yeah.
Basically, an idea has to have enough momentum for it to take off rolling.
Right.
So now's the time. Just keep yourself posted, keep yourself educated. You know where the truth is.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Lou. I'll let you go get some sleep and stay safe, buddy. And I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
All right. Take care, buddy.
Will do.
Bye-bye. There you got it, guys. Tell you what, it was amazing. Very impressed with Lou. He's always delivered when he said he would. He didn't let me down today. Hi, this is Glenn Kennedy with Project.Insearch.com, and I wrote the book How to Make an Extra $200 a Day. I've got multiple sources to make that kind of money. So sign up. You're going to get that book free. You're also going to learn about something very exciting that you see on the screen right next to me. That is called a free energy device based on technology created by Nikola Tesla. It uses no fuel and it can power the average size house. This device is on sale now, and you're going to learn about that as well as some great information that you're not going to find on any other source. You're going to get the up-to-the-date news stories on my newsletter, so it doesn't matter if you don't want to get involved in making money. You're going to learn something new every single time you hear from me, and that's why I hope that you'll join my list right now. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the other side.